Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the treasure spawn that came out for Scepter Master Vermis and everything surrounding him. Okay, so before I actually get into the treasure spawn itself, let me actually go over the featured gear. Okay, we're going to start off with the monster with the special move, Grovel Before Me. This monster is going to be great for Coliseum. Probably the star 40 cost, not 100% sure, and this is going to be excellent and possibly Super United offenses, but this is going to be very excellent and guild rates, very excellent. With the ability power of 180, it damages 5 times with physical time damage with the success value of 100, and of course it's going to get increased by 5 for each increase in skill level, the ability power of the move. So it's going to go up by 200 maximum. Once you get to level 5, it's 200 ability power. That's going to hit 5 times. And this right here is pretty dang devastating, and it's going to be pretty dang deadly. For Coliseum, absolutely, because when it comes to Coliseum, you can use stuff like Odin or Brahma that removes damage reflection, damage reduction, continuous healing effects from all enemies. Or you could use Keroy to give yourself cost and to take away their cost. But pretty much the next best things would be having high damaging monsters and then having monsters on top of it that prohibit Unison, and that's what this monster does. If you don't believe me, if you ever felt the wrath of Anna, you already know what I mean when I say that, because if you pop like a prohibit Unison monster first, right, especially a high damaging one, it's going to hurt. And on top of it, if you manage to prohibit Unison a lot of people, they won't be able to Unison. You can clutch for your team and absolutely win. Absolutely, monsters like these can absolutely do that. Like you could think you might win, and then this monster gets popped second, and then like if everybody else on the enemy team gets prohibit Unison, they're just screwed. No matter whether they win or use the Unison match, if you have a prohibit Unison and it just blocks them all, it's game, and it can happen. It has happened before. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen a lot, but it's definitely happened before. At least massive amounts of people on the enemy team have got prohibit Unison. You will see at least 1 or 2 usually getting prohibit Unison. But yeah, this monster is absolutely nasty for Coliseum. And then for guild raids and 40 cost star dragons, it does the apply fictional collapse, preventing critical hits to the enemy field for 60 seconds. I've done practice raids, and I already know the stellar god we're fighting for this guild raid season is going to have critical hits, and let me tell you, they exist. They're there. You may think, especially if you're new to this game, you might think, oh, critical hits ain't gonna do jack squat for an enemy. Especially if it's like critical hit chance. You're getting a critical hit chance buff. What's that gonna do? Because that's what I thought when I was fighting the salamander at the 40 cost fire dragon event. When I was doing it, that's all I had was a 50% critical chance up buff. It took a move that didn't one hit us before and one-shotted us all, and we all died. So definitely, you're probably going to see this within the 40 cost star dragon. At least you will see a couple enemies critical hit chancing themselves up. And you will see this definitely in guild raids. I've already did guild practice, so you will see it in guild raids. So that's why I'm saying applying fictional collapse is definitely going to be a helpful ability within both the guild raids and probably, not definitely, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm near 100% sure it's going to be helpful for the 40 cost star dragon when it comes out. It also fills usage gains of all, not usage gains, it also fills usage of all allies, excluding yourself by 20. Considering you're going to be playing with 9 other people besides yourself, this is going to be very great, especially considering that the Dark Stellar God, right? She is going to be taking away Unison. She's absolutely, especially on super hard and hard. I'm not sure about normal and easy, but on the hard and super hard, she's going to be taking away Unison, and having a monster that does something like this or increases usage gains and then nullifies status alignments or removes them like every 10 seconds for like 40 seconds or whatever, it's going to be a helpful monster. Absolutely going to be a helpful monster to really keep the team alive, keep the team going with their Unisons and everything surrounding that matter and subject and topic. So definitely, this is going to be a very nice monster. And that's going to be a very nice ability for guild raids. And then it's got applies 10% life drain on all allies for 60 seconds and decrease stats of all enemies by 50% for 60 seconds. Okay, life drain is going to be your lord and savior, especially on hard and super hard. Because you might have clerics on your team, but honestly, those clerics are going to have times and possibly even big windows where they can't heal. Because heals do cost about at least 1/10 cost wise, on the cost scale, if you were to have 100 costs, and the ability cooldown times can be sometimes unfair, and it's just overwhelming, especially if you only have one cleric and you're doing on hard or super hard. It is absolutely overwhelming. If you have monsters that cast life drain, it's 100%, I'm going to say right now, it is going to help out. It is legitimately going to help out. Everybody pretty much turns to a cleric at this point, because all you gotta do is attack the monster, right? And pretty much the damage you're doing is going to be how much you're healing. Absolutely. If you ever felt a 10% barrier as an archer or berserker, you already know what I mean by you could kill yourself. It's going to be the opposite effect though. You're going to be healing yourself instead of killing yourself. So that's why I'm saying life drain is going to be absolutely helpful for guild raids and probably 40 cost Star Dragon. Not 100% sure, but it's definitely going to be a lot more helpful in guild raids, that I can say. Decrease the stats of all enemies by 50%. It's a debuff. Can't complain. You're going to have a hard time definitely eventually with one of these monsters. You're going to have a hard time with the 40 cost star, so using any debuff will work. But eventually you're going to, even if you're doing it on easy and normal, going to run into some difficulties with the monster. So also having any debuff, quick debuff right away, will help out. It will help out absolutely. So that also right there is a very good ability for both. And of course the field usage can be helpful for the 40 cost Star Dragon. I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to probably be helpful. It's going to cast Kismet on all allies as well, and then remove status elements on all allies. So that's also going to be also great on top of it. And then it also applies Awakening standby mode to yourself. So that's also going to be helpful. Awakening is not a bad buff whatsoever. Sadly, it's not only going to be on yourself and not everybody. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, that's pretty much the summary of what I have to say about this monster. Besides using it for cost and possibly to heal yourself when you go to Crystal Assault, I can't really recommend it all too much. And killing the enemy. Killing the enemy, obviously, making sure they're nearly dead, if not. I can't really recommend this for guild battles. And for player versus enemy, it's not a bad monster whatsoever. It definitely helps, especially when you're at that boss battle, that life drain, the debuffs, the Phil's Unison 20, the Awakening standby mode to yourself. It's definitely going to help. It's not top tier for just overall player versus enemy, but it's definitely going to help. Okay, so let's actually get into the weapons next. We're going to actually talk about the skill this weapons have, and then we're going to talk about the ability. Okay, so we got the skill right here, Divine Physical Testament XL. Pretty much works how a regular physical, magical, or assault testament works at the double, not the double XL, but at the regular XL. Plus, on top of it, it has an added effect, and that is increasing the critical hit chance massively. But obviously, this is going to be proc orientated, so this is all going to be by chance. When you attack, this isn't going to guarantee your critical hit chance will be massively increased. It will, though, have a proc rate, and there will be a chance to have a chance of having a higher critical hit. Well, the critical chance is going to get increased, but you have a chance of increasing the chance for your critical hit. I know that sounds confusing, but that's pretty much how that's going to work out. So this right here, the skill right here is going to be useful if you're not running fatals. If you're running fatals or if you're not running any critical hits, it's not really needed. But if you're running stuff like perhaps say you're running definitely like the Noah gear, the gear from the Noah treasure spawn, like the Imperial Guard cap stuff with the critical hit chance up, or critical chance up I meant to say, this definitely right here is a nice combo with it, absolutely, if you're rocking that. So if you're rocking some of that stuff, I would recommend throwing this stuff on for skills. Definitely be a very helpful skill. And the Art of Vitality as well, totally forgot about that. Art of Vitality also increases critical hit chance as well, or critical hit rate. So also does that as well. Those right there would be some nice combos with that critical hit chance up. I showed you the helmet that I just showed you. Other than that, especially if you're rocking Fatal Testaments, it's not going to be really all too needed, and it's not going to be a helpful skill. At that point, you could just treat it like your regular physical, magical, or Assault Testament XL. So that's pretty much covering those. Okay, so let's get into the ability. The ability right here for the sword, the soldier, not the sword, increases your maximum HP by 10% for 20 seconds and removes status alignments from you. This right here is going to be a helpful ability during the guild raids, definitely. This can be a helpful ability also when you're just doing a regular player versus enemy mission, because you will be seeing status elements a pretty decent amount trying to be at least inflicted on you and your team. So if you manage to have like a soldier, right, with mass refresh, and it has this as well. You could use something like this possibly, and if this works, you could just mass refresh, and that would be a great combo right after it. And of course, soldiers are going to be tanky, so increasing your maximum HP by 10% is not a bad thing at all. So it's definitely a handy move to come with for scenarios and situations. I'm not going to say it's the best ability in the game, because it's absolutely not. If you're unaware, these will be replaced by your attack and only your regular attack, like the thing right here. Right here, that would be right here, the attack right here. These are what it's going to be replacing, just like as you can see right there, Mirage places. But yeah, that's pretty much covering that one. Okay, so let's get to the Lancer one. The Lancer one is going to increase your attack by 20% and boost your critical hit chance by 20%. This right here can be a very helpful skill. This isn't going to be, well, this is going to be around top tier for replacing your attack, but it really all depends on what you're working with, because now the Lancers have a critical hit combo system. Thanks to Dragon Tail right here, increases your critical hit damage ability power by 20 for 10 seconds, and then they have Stake All, increases your critical hit chance by 30% and critical hit ability power by 30 for 40 seconds. Right here, they have a nasty critical hit combo system right here. So if you actually, on top of what I just said about Noah, right, if you were to add some of the Noah gear with that on top of it, it's going to be absolutely nasty. So if you're definitely working on a critical hit build for your Lancer, which is now possible thanks to the 6th ring, I mean, it's always been possible, but it's definitely more actually worth doing it and more critical hits supported than it ever has been before thanks to the 6th ring. I would definitely do that. You can go an other way with the Lancer. You can't just go break-wise. If you want to go break-wise, Whirl Spear is definitely going to help out instead of using stuff like this right here. So it really depends on what you want, because those two would be the top 2 best moves I would probably recommend out of all the moves for the Lancer. But it's kind of like a coin. They're both on one side. One's like heads, one's like tails. It really all depends on what you're working on for your Lancer, to be fairly honest. So yeah, that's pretty much covering this move. It's definitely a very nice move for the Lancer, but it really depends on what you're working with. If you're working with the critical build set, definitely something I'd highly recommend. If you're not, I'd recommend just sticking to Whirl Spear instead. Okay, so moving on from there, let's go to the bow. The bow over here increases the ability power of next magic damage you deal magic damage you deal from an ability by 20. Sniping Sense isn't going to be helpful. I'm not going to lie. Archers are absolutely OP, but Sniping Sense isn't going to be helpful, especially if you're running an archer in the first place. You got Hunter Song right here, and it's going to increase your physical and magical ability power for a full 20 seconds by 20. So you don't need that. Okay, so we got Urgency with the Mage. It's a Mage exclusive ability. Reduces ability cooldown times except for certain abilities for yourself by 20% for 20 seconds. This right here can definitely come in handy with the Mage, because the Mage is kind of trollworthy when it comes to reduced ability cooldown times, or ability cooldown times in general, because with the Mage, they do take a second. Siphon is 6 seconds, so that's not bad. Ancient Spell is 10, and then perhaps let's look at Starburst, because I know Starburst over here has a high ability cooldown time as well, 8 seconds. So right there, as you can see, usually when you're using a DPS class, most of them don't take a while. 6 seconds right here, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, and then Lancers and Soldier stuff is going to take like what? Lancers only going to take like, this is going to be 9 seconds, 6 seconds, 4 seconds, 8 seconds. It is a bit heavy with the cooldown times of the Lancer, but the Lancer has thankfully now quick raid. And then I'm going to take a look at Soldier if I could try to support myself with this even more. Glistening Edge over here, 7 seconds, so that's a little better. You got Inspired Sword, 7 seconds, that's also a little better. So, anyways, moving on from there, the Mage has something for itself that could reduce ability cooldown times as well. This is definitely not a bad ability. I wouldn't say this is going to be top tier. I'd say this is going to be useful, but not top tier. So, you can use it. It will help, but it's not going to be the best, I'd say, ability-wise, move you can replace with the attack for the Mage. It's definitely all hands down better than the attack. And when you're a Mage, that regular attack, it gets annoying because you're using magic attack and that regular attack uses physical attack. And it really sucks, and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, that's covering that one. And then we got the Relic over here. The Relic has Aether Rebuild, consumes 50% of your max HP, and recovers 10 cost. This right here is going to be another Aether exchange. Now the Cleric has 4 Aether exchanges. Already, like, Aether Rebuild's already been out, and I already knew that it was out for a while, but I didn't know what it exactly did because I never really had it for the Cleric. Now that I actually see what it does for the Cleric, it's an interesting move. now you have more options to replace your Ether Exchange, more than you ever did before. And when you're a cleric, you really don't need to be heavily orientated when it comes to using Ether Exchange as well. So this right here could definitely come in handy if you're really looking for a light Ether Exchange, because this definitely gets the job done. And then you can like actually use more important heals, perhaps say, than having to worry about throwing an Ether Exchange on, because I think the only like heal you can replace with the attack when it comes to cleric, right, is like a 50 ability power heal. I think it's like battle heal or something like that. But yeah, they only have one heal, and it's only gear like orientated, so it's going to be possibly hard to get if you already don't have it. So it's pretty much what I gotta say about that and surrounding that. And then we got the Royal Dress right here. The skill for the Royal Dress has Heal Up. Heal Up is going to massively increase the amount of HP recovered during a battle, including continuous healing effects and life drain. So that's going to come in handy, especially if you're a hero caster. If you are a hero caster, if you cast hero a lot, this is going to help your friendly neighborhood cleric help get his job done quicker and help heal you quicker, because he doesn't like that hero buff. None of those clerics do. Clerics don't like that stuff. Anyways, moving on from there. So Heal Up is definitely a nice ability to replace with your other constant effects. The other constant effects aren't going to be used all too much, but if you're definitely looking for a plan B, if you use hero a lot, if you're heavily orientated around hero, you should probably throw on some heal ups and help your friendly neighborhood cleric out with their job and make it easier on them. So that's pretty much covering the gear and everything surrounding it. That's pretty much what I gotta say. And of course, it's going to be the highest cost, 36 cost weapons and 37 cost armors. So it's going to give off the most gear score for the current day and age of Unison as you're watching this video. Okay, so now that we talk about that, let's actually talk about the treasure spawn and everything surrounding it. We got some of the stuff in here with no rates up, so the chance of actually getting any of the stuff from the gear spawn alone is going to be near mythical. It's not even worth mentioning because the rates are literally almost 0 rates involved in actually getting this stuff. So I just want to keep that in mind for you if you plan on doing the spawn. The actual chance of actually getting this stuff is near 0. But you will be able to do a chest, and then you will be able to do 50 to 200 per each. You will be getting 50 to 200 medals per each spawn. And of course, you're going to have double chance after the first time half off, and each time you hit the jackpot. Okay, so now that we talk about that, let's actually look and see if they have much medals. Okay, with the jackpot, they have 900 to 1,300, and as I'm looking through this, they don't have any more medals. So this is going to be a costly treasure spawn, and it looks like they're going back to their stupid whale logic, and I'm just not supporting this whatsoever. Even if I could whale, I wouldn't whale for the spawn. There's no way I'm going to be whaling for the spawn unless the jackpot has absolutely phenomenal, top-notch, near 100% rates. There's no way I would be whaling for the spawn. They do have some really nice stuff, absolutely, all hands down, especially if you're working towards your critical hit builds or you need something to replace your attack. This stuff definitely gets the job done. But I don't see it worth it. The monster's nice as well, but I just don't see it worth all that treasure medals, because this is not a lot of treasure medals. This is absolutely not a lot of treasure medals. Like, you could do the regular treasure spawn over here for the 800, 600, 400. You're getting more medals probably almost all the time just rolling through these than you are going to be doing the normal treasure spawn, because wow, I actually spawned one of these before trying to get 10k medals, and it took me over 600 gems. And that right there is absolutely, I just don't, like, it's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it whatsoever for the price they make this monster. It's stupid. It's 100% stupid. Of course, unless they have summoning scroll rates higher than they ever did before as well on top of it. Like, they have to have rates, at least for the jackpot or the summoning scroll, to be pretty dang high to even be doing this in the first place. Because if it isn't, I don't see why you would do this. I absolutely don't see the purpose in doing this, because it's just overly expensive medal-wise, and it's just 100% stupid. But anyways, let's look at the medal exchange and see if they made a comeback on that. And it looks like they didn't. 10k medals for the summoning scroll, and then you got 2k for the gear right here, the feature gear. So you're going to need to get the jackpot twice. So that's 1 out of 6 chests is actually the jackpot, and you're going to need to get it twice to actually obtain this stuff. I'd say it's a bit hefty. Even if you're looking for a gear piece, it's going to be a bit pricey to actually obtain the gear piece. So yeah, the spawn is pretty dang expensive, of course, unless they have like extreme high rates on the jackpot, or getting the summoning scroll from the jackpot, or feature gear from the jackpot. If that's not the case, I don't see the purpose in spawning this. This is absolutely a horrible spawn, and it just costs so freaking much to spawn. It is ridiculous. So that's pretty much what I gotta say about this. I am so sorry this lasted so long, but with the gear they're coming out with and the abilities and everything, I think this has to kind of be long, but I'm gonna try to make my videos as short as possible. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped out. This is the AzureWrath, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.